Hi guys, Stark here. So I just wanted to make a quick video in regards to my current experience with being a new PC gamer, and to be honest, the shock of how uneducated, not uneducated in a bad way, but how sort of oblivious a lot of people are to how much it actually costs to build a PC and what you need to run certain titles, especially even modern ones. Obviously, not even talking about old ones here. I'm talking about even modern ones. So when I was primarily a PC gamer, a console gamer, sorry, I was always told by various different people, "Oh, hi, yeah, PC's too much. It costs too much. I can't get into PC gaming because of the price, etc., etc., etc." It's like I literally, if you Google, say for example, Reddit, PC is expensive. Is PC gaming actually cheaper? PC gaming is way too expensive. When did everything get so expensive? What I found, guys, is a lot of people are under the sort of impression that you need to build, and you've probably heard it yourselves, right? You need to pay £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 to get a good experience on PC. Now, if you've got that money, don't get me wrong, it helps. Um, but I don't think that a lot of people need to be spending that amount of money. So I think people are either building a PC, right, because they need it for work and they might want to game a little bit on the side with it, or alternatively they want a better experience than they're currently getting on console. Um, I think that's the majority of people. The way the console gaming is going at the moment, with there's various discussions about the price of the games themselves, because these games on console are like £70, right? Because that's one of the benefits with PC gaming as well. The games are way cheaper. Just for an example, I just bought Alan Wake for £40, brand new game. There's other brand new games that come out that are like £40 in comparison. That are like £70 on PS5 and Xbox Series, etc. There are benefits than visual fidelity. There are different benefits that come with PCs, but I think, like I said, a lot of the sort of misunderstanding around how much PCs are expensive is just due to people giving them the wrong information when they go to these kinds of sites like Reddit, YouTube, etc. People will be in the comment section saying, "Oh, I had to pay thousands of pounds and stuff, and now I've got an RTX 4090, etc., etc. I've spent this much, I've spent that much." The people that you're talking to in these comment section, guys, are obviously massive enthusiasts. Either that or simply they're lying. So if you literally check the Steam hand, I'm sure if you've gone to other creators, etc., and things like that, if you've gone to the Steam hardware survey for yourself, you'll actually see that the percentage of people who own these, super expensive graphics cards, some of them aren't even in the 1%. You're literally talking to the 0.5% of people, or like I said, more than likely, they're lying about what systems they've got. So if you look at the Steam hardware survey, right, so an RTX 3060 is the most popular card, and it's actually growing in popularity. So what that'll be down to is people buying these second hand, downgrading, selling the current equipment because it's obviously so expensive. People get it, like I say, mainly people getting into the used market and buying these second hand. I believe anyway. That's my personal opinion on it. And then you look down there, so the 3060s are what, a 5 6 year old, 4 5 year old graphics card at this point. And it's the most popular one. So if you go down, you've got things like the 2060 that's still got a 6% market share that's increasing, so people are still buying these. The RTX 3070, which is obviously the previous card that I actually had, and even the 1060. So people are still buying systems with graphics cards like the 1060 in them. The market share is increasing, guys. And then you look at the Uber, and if you look at the percentage as well, so the RTX 3060, I mean, how much can you get an RTX 3060 for the moment? Let's have a look. So RTX, sorry, I can't even spell, RTX 3060, right? So £278, £278, £279, things like that. There's a cheaper one there for 240, and these are just brand new, guys, right? So you could probably get these particular cards for a hell of a lot cheaper on the used market. So if I say, for example, take a look at eBay, a used 3060, £110, 215, 200. So you're not, I mean, you're not saving. You probably able to save yourself like £100 or something like that, right? So you don't. The most popular graphics card in the world is around a 200, £250 graphics card. Now, if you look at these crazy, oh, I've got a 4090, I've got a 4070, guys, right? So I spent, I think, a couple of months ago, I built a new PC. Like I said, I'm relatively new to it all. I've only been a PC gamer for around 4 to 5 months. I've currently got an RTX 4070 because I thought it were the best bang for buck on the market currently, with all the newest features, you know, DLSS 3.5, etc., frame generation, ray tracing performance. I thought that was my best bang for buck because I didn't want to spend over £1,000 on a graphics card, and I didn't want to. I wanted an experience that was at least going to make it worth it for me to improve over the console side of things. That was my personal situation. The RTX 4070 that you can probably get, I mean, I got for I think £570. And this is only this month, guys. So before this month, or before last month, sorry, we're in November now. It's gone from it was 0.36% in June, and it's gradually increased. It's had quite a massive jump in October. Obviously, November statistics aren't out yet because we're at just the start of November. But that's 2.14%, guys, that just have the 4070 alone. These people who are saying that they have the 4090, so we've got to go all the way down here. So at 4090, these, you know, nearly £2,000 graphics card that seems like everybody on Reddit has, the market share for it is shrinking because people are figuring out that actually the amount of money that they've probably spent on these graphics cards, it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. 0.62% of Steam users have an RTX 4090. Even if you look at the 4080, which is obviously the tier down, which is still an expensive graphics card, I mean, they are coming down in price just due to how stupidly priced they were to begin with. But it's 0.64%. These people that are telling you, oh, you need to get an RTX 4070, you need to get an RTX 4090, you don't, because no one has them. Nobody buys them because they're so expensive. You're literally telling people who are just shilling in the comments, lying to you, or you're talking to the not even top what, you know, the top 1% of people who earn probably a godly amount of money, not like regular folk like you and me, right? So what I took a look at, and just to tell you my sort of introduction to building my PC, and I don't know if a lot of you guys will have heard of these, but it's not GPUs, it's not CPUs, they're actually called APUs. So say for example, right, you're wanting to purchase a PC, but you don't have the funds at this moment in time. Obviously, with the way the world is at the moment, not a lot of people have a lot of money to spare. But if you still want to get a PC, say for example, if you want a PC for work that can do light gaming, you know, we're talking about low settings or old games or something like that. You want your best bang for your buck. You want something that's going to perform for work purposes, and you want something that you might want to spend a bit of spare time on. Say for example, you don't have a console, but you want to use your PC for a bit of light gaming. I think an APU is the way to go, especially if you plan on upgrading that in the future, right? So what an APU is it's a CPU with integrated graphics. Now, integrated graphics, obviously, especially if you've got a laptop, you'll have probably heard about what that is exactly. So integrated graphics, it's basically you don't need a separate graphics card, so a separate GPU. So these things that are costing hundreds and hundreds of pounds, you don't actually need to purchase one of those because this comes with it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not exactly going to play 4K, 60 frames per second, you know, Alan Wake 2 that's just come out. It's going to be very, very basic, right? So my point is say for example, right, you don't have the money to purchase a PC, because I think a lot of, especially new people that are coming over from console to PC, they're probably looking at pre-built systems as well. Now they're fine, some of those things that can be fine, but you're not getting value for money. You're just not. If you build a PC, you're always going to be saving a hell of a lot of money compared to what you would do in like a pre-built system. Now back to my point in APU, right? Say for example you wanted to build a PC, but you don't have the money for all the parts. Now, you can and this is what I did, right? So I didn't have the money, even this, right? So this system that I picked out here, it's £523.94 currently if I wanted to purchase this from Amazon and various other retailers. But it's £523.94, minus shipping. So altogether it's £525.93. Now that's an acceptable amount of money. I think a lot of people, if they wanted to save up for a couple of months, they could probably purchase this system all together, right? But I think what I did is, as a little project to myself, I actually bought these parts gradually. So say for example, I think what I did is to figure out the size, say for example, where I was going to put my PC for a start. I bought the case first and then the power supply, right? Figured out where I was going to put it before I started purchasing the other parts. And then I bought, I think, the CPU and the motherboard. And then eventually, the month after, I bought the RAM and then the solid state drive. Because I think another thing that I've noticed with a lot of new PC gamers is I think you have to either buy an all-in-one system, so you're up and running, you want to be up and running as quickly as possible. And I get it. Do you know what I mean? This day and age, obviously Amazon Prime delivery, you want everything now. But if you can't afford it, right, and because we've all got to live PC gaming, it's not really a necessity. But if you want to build these things up gradually, you can do. No one's telling you that you have to go out and spend thousands of pounds on a PC. It's just something that you don't have to do. You can build these things up gradually. Now, the benefit, going back to the APU, the benefit of getting an APU instead of a dedicated CPU is you can use the integrated graphics while you're saving up money for a graphics card. So if you need to get a PC up and running for work, you've got the CPU, you've got the integrated graphics card, and to be honest, the 5600G is on its own. Now, it's not as good as, say, for example, the 5600 on its own, because the integrated graphics take up the die size, right? It takes up the actual overall CPU itself, so it's not going to be as powerful as the 5600, and it's definitely not going to be as powerful as the 5600X, but you'd actually be surprised at what you can get away with. So I would recommend, just to sort of round things out, to people wanting to get into gaming, PC gaming specifically, coming over from console or just wanting to do a light bit of gaming on a work PC, it's getting yourself an all-in-one graphics card. You've got the CPU, the all-in-one, APU, CPU and graphics card. You've got the CPU there that you can use in the future and upgrade. So if you look at all these parts, so you've got the APU, which has your CPU and your graphics card covered. You've got your motherboard. You've got your RAM. You've got your storage. You've got your Corsair case, and then you've got your power supply. Now, obviously, I would assume that you'll already have unless you don't, but obviously you need a monitor, your keyboard, mouse. I think 99% of people are aware that's how PCs work, right? You need obviously the peripherals as well. So I'm not going to include those. I'm also not going to include the operating system. Now, obviously, if you included the operating system in this, it pushes the price up. So if you, say, for example, wanted to get a legitimate Windows 11 home key, it's £116.99. Now, obviously, I'm not going to link sites and things like that for what I'm saying is there are ways. If you do a quick Google search how to get a Windows 11 key cheap or even free, there's ways of doing it, right? So I'm not going to include that in the cost, simply because there are ways of getting that cheaper. And even if we look at this build, guys, right, you can definitely take a look and shop around for cheaper parts. So this system altogether, it comes to this particular cost, £525.93 including shipping. You can save money on this build. You can still save money. So say for example, I wouldn't recommend really. You could probably save money on the motherboard. I wouldn't really. I mean, £39 for 2 sticks of 16 gig memory is not a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't recommend changing that. The SSD itself, NVMe SSDs used to be really expensive. However, if you look here, £46.98 for a 1 terabyte NVMe solid state drive. You at this point, especially now with newer games coming out, because it's not only about getting a PC for the cheapest possible either, right? So this is why we've got a power supply down here at 750 watts. For this build, the estimated wattage is 159. You don't need a 750 watt power supply, right? That's blatantly obvious. However, It's also about making sure that you can upgrade in the future. The case, so the case is probably going to be the biggest cost saver here. So if you wanted to change this case, so I made this mistake and I'm putting this out there, so hopefully if I can literally save one person money that I didn't manage to save, I've done my job. So say for example, I bought the 4000D variant, which basically comes with two fans, one at the front, one at the back. I then decided I wanted to upgrade to RGB in the future. So you know the pretty lights on your PC. That's when people think of PC gaming, I think that's what a lot of people sort of put two and two together. Oh, it's lights up and everything, and everyone knows RGB makes your PC go faster, obviously. Um, but I ended up getting the 4000D variant of this particular build. Now the problem with that is that if you want to upgrade in the future, just to show you. So say for example, because you need to get a kit as well. So Corsair, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go for Corsair, right? But the problem with Corsair specifically is they're like the Apple of PC parts. They only work with their own equipment. So say for example, right, if I go, let's go for the LL. I've got LL 120 fans in my build, right? Got three in the front, one in the back, and then two on my all-in-one cooler. But if you look at these, they come with a kit. So I think the 4000D I got for £80, but then I wanted to upgrade to Corsair fans. £96.99, guys. These come with RGB. Where's that now? These come with RGB fans included, and on the bonus as well, because you can't buy these fans one at a time either, because you don't get the actual necessary bit of kit, which is the fan controller. You don't get that in the box unless you buy the actual kit itself, the 3 fan pack. You get it in that. That's another mistake I made. I didn't know that. So it comes with this all included. So if you are going to get RGB, even if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get it in the future, just save the money and get the 4000X. Seriously, because it comes with what you need included, and it will save you an absolute fortune, and it will save you an absolute nightmare in the future. So you've got this particular build. You can order this now for that particular price, and then you think, right, well, I might want to upgrade in the future. So what I did, like I say, this is just my opinion. If you guys obviously have different opinions, brilliant. That's what makes us human. But what I did is I obviously I needed a graphics card, right? If I want to be playing PC games and obviously playing them at a better fidelity than console, I need an expensive graphics card. I went out and I bought myself a 4070, which only, as looking at the Steam hardware charts, only 2% people have. So I've got a pretty good GPU, right? The 70 series is technically a mid-range GPU, but actually it's looking at the statistics, it's a high-end PC. I've got a high-end PC, right? So I decided to get a 4070. Now you don't even need to do that. So if you want to get something that's either comparable or better than what a console gives you, you can spend way less money. Look here. That's not exactly necessarily the graphics card that I got, but it's £572. So I got mine for a bit cheaper, but you get what I mean, and that would blow both the PS5 and the Series X out of the water. With DLSS, frame generation, and just from pure GPU brute force in general, it's night and day, guys. You're talking like a three times multiplier here, at least, from even more if you're in it, like I say, if you enable frame generation and things like that. So at the moment, just to put it into perspective, and I might even benchmark, right? I'm not really planning on making this like a benchmark channel or anything like that, but I might even do a benchmark just to show you the types of frame rates that I get on that particular card, just to show that you do not need the 80 series, the 90 series, that even the 4070 Ti, even though it's not a bad card, it's not, but it's just, you don't need to be spending the ridiculous amounts of money that some people tell you. You just don't. But you don't necessarily need to even go that. Like a 3060 is probably comparable to what you get on a console. If you look at, I know that Nvidia has the majority of the market share, but if you look at AMD solutions, an RX 6700 XT at £333.59 would blow any console out of the water. But by you know, you're talking about incredible, especially rasterized gaming performance. We're not talking about ray tracing here because AMD don't play well with ray tracing, and that's still the case on the latest GPU, you know, the 7000 series. But rasterized, if you're not, you know, if you're disabling ray tracing, incredible performance, guys. Um, so yeah, I know it's obviously been a bit of a scatgun approach. Like I said, I've not scripted this. I just wanted to talk you through on probably my biggest frustration and what puts most people off. The thing that puts most people off building a PC is the price and then the difficulty in regards to building it. Guys, this is like Lego. PC parts are like Lego. You can't, obviously it gets, don't get me wrong, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you, I mean, I've just got one here, just for example. If you Google how to build a PC, you've got so many different channels that will take you through exactly what you need to do to build a PC. And especially once you've got your part, obviously when you're following along with these guys and you don't have the parts in front of you, it is a bit confusing. But when, say for example, if you did what I did and you gradually started building up your parts and things like that, it, it's not as hard as people think. It really isn't. So I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I know it's a bit scattergun. It is completely unscripted, and it's the first time. I mean, I've not really uploaded anything in years and years. So hopefully you can get a bit of information, and it gives you a few ideas on how to build a PC in the future. All right, thank you.